Hello, movie, TV, and music fans. The latest word on the entertainment world is headed your way with our tremendous talent telling you all you need to know. Here's Allyson Edmonds with Hollywood Headlines, an on-campus report with Nick Ewing, and Tina Maric sharing one of her guilty pleasures.
All of this and more is right around the corner because from Ball State University, The Real Deal starts now.
Hello and welcome to The Real Deal, Ball State's one and only entertainment news show. I'm Connor Fack.
And I'm Ramel Tadai. A big part of the entertainment world is not only the content and media itself, but also the technology that connects audiences with creators.
With the latest news on that and more, here's Allyson Edmonds with this week's Hollywood Headlines. Allyson?
All right, hello, I'm Allyson Edmonds, and that's right, the day that you all iPhone lovers have been waiting for has finally come. Introducing the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. These two amazing pieces of technology have many new updated features, making them hard for techies to resist. The biggest change is also probably the most obvious, with the iPhone 6 having a 5.5-inch Retina screen, an inch and a half larger than the iPhone 5. This makes the next generation iPhone bigger and better, as they all say. People are talking all across the world about Apple's newest Play toy. Now, not only did Apple surprise us with an amazing phone, but they came out with a watch that will spark your fashion interest as well. The Apple Watch includes features like a camera, iMessaging, and much, much more. The watch also has different colored bands that you can customize to fit the style that's best for you. Both the phone and watch are available for pre-order now at apple.com and are expected to be released in stores on September 19th. Now, switching gears from the world of technology to the world of acting. The movie No Good Deed premiered this past Friday, and movie lovers swamped the theaters to see it. Stars Idris Elba and Taraji P. Henson helped their film dominate the box office last weekend, as No Good Deed was reported to earn more than $24.5 million more than Dolphin Tale 2, which also came out this past Friday. Now, to see what the fuss is all about, let's have Idris Elba tell us a little bit about his character named Colin.
Colin was a sort of troubled and anxious man that just was on a mission of love, and for me it's like a real sort of, there's lots to play with when you've got a character like that. His mind state, the kind of person he is, there's just lots of room to sort of play something interesting.
Elba also talks about the fact that as soon as he went on set, it was nothing but good things after that. Elba and Henson both said that working together was a great experience and that they don't expect this to be the last time. Well, that's all the news this week for me. I'm Allyson Edmonds for Hollywood Headlines.
Thanks, Allyson. The new iPhone looks so nice, doesn't it, Connor?
Yeah, I suppose, if you like that sort of thing.
But what's not to like? It's got Wi-Fi, has a camera, has a ton of apps, has a timer.
Does it have a rotary dial?
No.
I'm telling you, these things are going to make a comeback.
Well, I don't know about that, but I know what is making a comeback, the Ghostbusters series. And we wanted to know what you thought about this news, so we sent field correspondent Nick Ewing out on campus to see in person. Let's see what he found.
Hey guys, what's up? Nick Ewing here with The Real Deal. I'm out Ball State, walking around, talking to you guys to see what you think about the new Ghostbusters movie and the news that it's going to be an all-female cast. So let's see what you guys have to say.
It feels gimmicky. I just don't know why. Why?
I think it's a great idea. A lot of people really love the original movie, The Ghostbusters, and I think that it's great that they're, first of all, rebooting it and also putting a new spin on it.
I mean, it seems like I understand what they're going for, but it seems almost to the point of gimmick where they're pointing out that they're different by just only doing an all-female team. If they were like, I would be all for like kind of either like half and half or more women than men, but if they just put them in there, like gender's not like a point.
I mean, it's a big change up from the original, but I mean, if it's all women, I feel like they can still do a pretty decent job,
If you could choose any actresses to be, in the new Ghostbusters, like, what's your dream cast?
Oh, okay. I gotta think about this.
I don't have a dream female Ghostbusters cast.
Well, if they're gonna do it, they better have Kristen Schaal and Kristen Bell. because we need all the Kristens we can get. And Kristen Stewart, there's a Kristen Stewart.
I think it's Kirsten Stewart.
Something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
We should have all the Kristens possible.
Rebel
sure.
Wilson, Tina Fey, maybe Anna Kendrick, but we're probably gonna like aim. Oh, you should have
Sigourney Weaver. She was already
Sigourney
in
Weaver
it.
and what? Meryl Streep. Meryl Streep, yeah.
McCarthy. Melissa McCarthy, the big one.
Yes.
You are not the first person that
Yes.
said Melissa McCarthy today.
I think she would be really funny.
So do some other people. Yeah.
Well, there you have it. Some of you are for it, some against it, some of you really don't care. I think you guys had some pretty interesting casting ideas. I guess we'll see how the movie turns out when it officially releases. I'm Nick Ewing, back to you.
Thanks, Nick. Investigative journalism at its finest once again.
And we've got more of the finest news and reviews coming up after our first break. Stay tuned for Swing at Me with Dustin Grissom, a Guilty Pleasure from Tina Maric, and if you like this, then try this from Brandon Krakowski and more, all ahead.
Stand, man up, circle round, stand up, pimps up, hands down, beat 'em up, man down. No hands in the air, no need for pumping your fist. Everybody in the mosh pit. What the?
My bad.
Everybody in the
Why not?
They call themselves the Guardians of the Galaxy. This might not be the best idea.
We don't know for sure if dolphins feel friendship. It feels like they do. That's not a bad thing.
Is everybody set? Okay. Send hope.
Thought of all those brains you've got, you would have figured out the game you're playing by now.
Terry, are you here?
Glad you stuck around. Hollywood is full of celebrities, some more deserving of their fame than others.
But even those who do deserve it, we, the public, may have no idea just how they got to be that way.
So this week we're going to take another in-depth look at a truly talented performer and tell you just how she rose to be a star. Here's Aiden Hall with the Actor Spotlight. Aiden?
Thanks, guys. Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Tina Fey, Amy Poehler, Adam Sandler, and that chick from Bridesmaids. Now, what do these people all have in common? Why, they've all appeared on the titular late Saturday night program, SNL. And that chick has a name, dear viewers, the illustrious Kristen Wiig. Born in Canandaigua, New York, to Laurie and John Wiig, this little swaddled ball of comedic genius later moved to Rochester, New York, and eventually, when it was time for her to leave the nest, majored in art at the University of Arizona before deciding to move to LA and try her luck at comedy. Originally getting her start on the Joe Schmo Show as an off-chance character, she climbed the comedic ladder and eventually was able to become a full-fledged member of the legend-making program Saturday Night Live. Miss Wiig has only gone up from there with several Emmy nominations and a Golden Globe under her belt, and with no sign of stopping, she is quickly becoming a comedic legend. While starring in films such as the Despicable Me films as both Miss Hattie and Agent Lucy Wilde, while also having bit roles in everything from Ricky Gervais's Ghost Town to the Will Ferrell classic Semi-Pro. And for all you animation nuts out there, she is the voice of Lola Bunny from the Looney Tunes show, a role she has done for over 25 episodes. However, it wasn't until the 2011 classic girl comedy Bridesmaids that the hilarious Miss Wiig hit her stride, writing and directing as well as starring in this film alongside other wonderfully funny women like Maya Rudolph or Melissa McCarthy, caused her to win several awards, including her Golden Globe. She's come a long way from being a love interest for MacGruber. However, not everything is laugh tracks in the life of a comedian. Kristen recently starred in a drama opposite fellow SNL alum Bill Hader. This drama, The Skeleton Twins, tells the story of two twins that cheat death on the same day and reflect on their lives. While still having a dark comedic element, the film is much more thought-provoking than a standard slapstick fare. Miss Wig truly has a bright future, as many an SNL alum has before her. Thank God she wasn't on Mad TV, or America would have missed this new gem in our comedy crown. And there you have it, dear viewers. You can find most of Miss Wig's segments and programs on YouTube, as I have, and make sure to check out The Skeleton Twins in theaters now.
Thanks, Aiden. I can't imagine who wouldn't enjoy Kristen Wiig's work.
Yeah, you never can tell. Some people just don't like certain things. You know, like smartphones.
Are you still on that? But I suppose it's true, especially with movies. You can never please everybody, and sometimes it takes a true hero to point out the faults in something everyone else holds on a pedestal.
Right, and we have just that sort of guy up next. Not that we're saying he's a hero, but not that we're saying he's not either. Either way, here's Dustin Grissom taking a hit at a popular film in this week's Swing at Me. Dustin?
Before I go on a rant on everything there is to dislike about 2014 summer blockbuster Godzilla, directed by Gareth Edwards, let's get something out of the way. So yeah, that roar is awesome, and yes, the effects, music, and camera angles make for a heart-pounding, edge-of-your-seat experience. Wait, I'm supposed to be ranting about this movie. People rave about it all the time, but seriously, it wasn't very good. There, I said it. For starters, Bryan Cranston of Breaking Bad fame was heavily advertised in the movie's jaw-dropping trailers. He was only in the movie for like 5 seconds, and once he's gone, all the other characters are, admittedly, extremely bland. And speaking of a lack of screen time, was it just me, or just a monster movie about the Muto, that giant bug-looking thing introduced in the beginning, with just a special guest appearance by Godzilla towards the end? You spend the entire movie anticipating Godzilla's appearance, and once he shows up, you become tired of waiting for so long that you just don't really care anymore. Sure, the movie is pretty cool, but I just never found myself engaged at all the way through. The trailers were phenomenal, and therefore the hype was unreal. However, to me, the movie ended up being rather disappointing. Honestly, I'd rather just watch one of the trailers than the entire movie itself. So swing at me. I don't care. All I wanted to see was Godzilla vs. Heisenberg.
Thanks, Dustin. When you put it that way, it's easy to see at least part of Godzilla as a bit of a letdown.
But the rest of our show certainly isn't going to be a letdown. Still up, we have Tina Maric sharing the show she secretly enjoys watching, Brandon Krakowski suggesting a show you might never have heard of, plus our final word, all next.
Hi there. We all know the value of keeping an open mind when it comes to TV.
And you might find something unexpected that you really love.
You might find something expected you really hate.
Or you might find something, well, weird that you love anyway.
Our next presenter falls into that last category, and here to explain just what we mean is Tina Maric with her guilty pleasure. Tina?
Okay, everyone, I'm going to admit to something right here. My guilty pleasure TV show is the Teletubbies. I know, it may seem weird since I'm an 18-year-old freshman in college, but let me explain. I used to watch the Teletubbies all the time when it was actually appropriate for me to watch the show in my early years as a child. I mean, I vividly remember watching the show one time when I was in elementary school and homesick with the chicken pox. I think it was a marathon or something, but I remember that when I was itchy and had red bumps all over and was taking oatmeal baths every hour, the one thing that comforted me other than my nurse/mom was the Teletubbies. And today, when I think about the Teletubbies, what comes to my mind is their carefree, happy-go-lucky attitudes. They remind me of simpler times when there was not a worry or care in my mind, as opposed to how my mind is these days, full of all kinds of responsibilities and obligations. Another thing that comes to my mind is the Happy Teletubbies theme song and the place where they spend most of their time. The theme song is so happy and simple with its catchy tune, and it just puts me in a good mood. And the green, lush, hilly area where the Teletubbies play is a perfect place. It never rains, it's never cold, and there is always a sun with a baby's face in it to make sure you have a good day. The real world definitely isn't as perfect as the world of the Teletubbies is. And then there's the friendship that the Teletubbies have between each other. They hug each other all the time, and they're always there for each other. That's a nice contrast to how things can sometimes be in our world, with backstabbing and drama somehow ending up in our relationships. So yes, the Teletubbies make me feel like I'm a little kid again, and I feel safe and secure whenever I think about those simple, carefree days in my guilty pleasure show. Love you, Tinky Winky. Oh, yep. Yeah, I really do love Tinky Winky. That's all for my guilty pleasure, and I'm Tina Maric.
Thank you, Tina. Nostalgia is a powerful force.
It certainly is. And we all like to be reminded of times and experiences that made us feel good in the past. Many times it's actually what attracts us to a new film or show, how much it reminds us of something we already love.
With that in mind, we're introducing a new segment we're calling If You Like This, Then Try This. And we have Brandon Kratkowski on hand to kick it off. Brandon?
During its run, NBC's version of The Office was one of the most successful shows on television, picking up several awards and having consistently high ratings, and for very good reason. The show was a modern American classic. It was well written, hilarious, and featured amazing performances from its entire cast. Most notably, Steve Carell as the ubiquitous Michael Scott. Now, fans have mourned the show's cancellation since the final episode aired, but there's another, lesser-known show currently on the airwaves that I can guarantee that they would love. From Comedy Central and the mind of star and creator Andy Daly, known for his roles on Mad TV and Eastbound and Down, comes the show Review. The channel has been on something of a hot streak as of late, with newer shows such as Key and Peele, Nathan For You, and Broad City lighting up both the ratings and the hearts of critics. Now, Review is no exception, and it may very well be the best show yet of this creative boom. Each episode follows Forrest McNeil, a man who hosts a TV show in which he promises that he will partake in any life experiences his viewers request him to, later reviewing whatever he did out of 5 stars based on his personal enjoyment. His commitment to the project and his viewers, much like Michael Scott's commitment to Dunder Mifflin and its employees, leads him down dark, twisted, hilarious paths. Be it eating copious amounts of pancakes, 45 total for the season, filing for divorce from his wife, getting addicted to hard drugs in record time, there's nothing Forrest McNeil won't do for his show and his audience. The situations that Forrest puts himself in can make the audience simultaneously cringe and laugh, a feeling fans of The Office should be very familiar with. But perhaps the greatest joy of the show is watching Forrest's life fall apart as a consequence of his reviewing process. He alienates all of the people he loves, he treats his body horribly, and he slowly becomes a man that is not himself, all for the sake of a television show. Now, in that regard, the show is actually a very well-constructed character study of a man who does not know how to quit. And yet, for all of the horrible things he does, viewers are still able to sympathize with Forrest. He is a passionate, committed man who, while misguided, just wants to bring joy to his audience. One may feel similarly about Michael Scott. Indeed, Review is a gloriously dark, insane, madcap show, and television is better for it. Plus, at only 9 episodes with another season on the way, it's an easily bingeable affair. Now, even though it's not currently on the air, you can still catch it on demand or at Comedy Central's website. That's it for If You Like This. I'm Brandon Kratkowski.
Thanks, Brandon. Review definitely looks like it's worth a look.
And speaking of shows you might not have heard of, don't go anywhere because right after the break, Ramel and I will be discussing just that with our final word. Don't miss it.
Sure about this? No.
We can't leave. They won't let us.
I've been chasing this idea about a perfect life. But life is unpredictable and irrational and complicated. And I want a complicated life.
People are afraid of all the wrong things. And once they're in the van, they're just body parts.
You've dealt with situations like this.
Not like this.
Welcome back. Now that September has rolled around, traditional television is once again poised to enter another pilot season, with networks both bringing back old favorites for another season and debuting new shows to fill slots that didn't make last year's cut.
So Connor and I are going to clue you in of 2 programs that are new that we're most looking forward to seeing. This is the final word. What's at the top of your list, Connor?
Well, this is just a casual observation, but for some reason, Louisiana is one of the more popular states to set TV series in these days. Perhaps it's what may lurk in its murky bayous, the romantic decadence reminiscent of a time gone by, or just the charmingly adventurous lives all the locals seem to lead. Reality shows abound in its waters already, with the likes of Duck Dynasty, Cajun Pawn Stars, Swamp People, and more. True Detective and True Blood, both on HBO, are also set there, but it looks like basic cable, too, will finally be getting its own scripted show, set in the Big Easy, when NCIS New Orleans premieres this fall. Like its parent program, NCIS, and sister program, NCIS Los Angeles, NCIS New Orleans will mix elements of a military drama and a procedural crime show as it follows on assignment a team of members of a branch of the Naval Criminal Investigative Service, NCIS. The program's main cast was introduced this spring in 2 episodes of regular NCIS that served as a backdoor pilot for the new series. And, once again, the writers seem to have created a memorable group of characters, with Scott Bakula starring as Dwayne Pride King, the special agent in charge who isn't afraid to do things his own way instead of by the book. Other amusing characters include Zoe McClellan playing fish-out-of-water transfer agent Mary Brody, and CCH Pounder as the sassy medical examiner Dr. Loretta Wade. Also worth noting, NCIS star Mark Harmon will serve as one of the show's 2 executive producers. Now, my family has always been longtime fans of everything NCIS, my parents especially. They watch it every week. So I'm sure they'll be happy to tune into this new one too, and as they say down there, let the good times roll. I would heartily encourage you to join them when NCIS New Orleans premieres on the 23rd of this month at 8 Central on CBS. And you, Ramel?
Well, throughout the summer, much promotion has gone through for this fall's lineup, but one show in particular has caught my eye. From executive producer Steven Spielberg comes a dramedy series entitled Red Band Society. Based on the 2011 Catalan drama series Posteres Vermells, Red Band follows the story of a group of teenage patients living together in the pediatric ward of Ocean Park Hospital. Narrated by Charlie, played by Griffin Gluck, a coma-ridden boy. Yes, you heard it correctly, coma. It will tell the story of how the Red Band Society came about as we look at the modern medical world through the eyes of a teenager, or more or less through his own thoughts. As an avid fan of Fox's current programming, I definitely appreciate Red Band's fresh storyline, as the show will dig deeper into the trials and tribulations of growing up with such boundaries like cancer, eating disorders, and drug addiction. I think it's wonderful that this show will cover these issues, and Red Band will be able to reel in a younger audience that not only will be educated of these issues, but learn from a diverse group of characters and be able to relate to them in some way, shape, or form. If you have not seen the official trailer for Red Band, I highly recommend you do. And bring a tissue, you know, just in case you catch the feels. Red Band Society premieres on September 17th at 9/8 Central on Fox.
And that wraps up the show for this week. Be sure to check out our website, Facebook, and Twitter pages for news and updates on all things entertainment. I'm Connor Fack.
And I'm Ramel Tadai. We'll see you next time.
Yeah. It's long. I'm going to take these off my feet.